Lately, I've been thinking, are the puppet strings in my blind spot? Most of you rappers are livestock in somebody's pocket like iPods. iPhones, I know, guess I'm not the market. I was born pretty good, Charlotte. Not trendy to know my jargon. Feeling old like I don't get caught in.
What's up, everybody? I'm Skulls, and today we're going to be listening to Propaganda by Dax featuring Tom Macdonald. Now, I haven't heard a lot from Dax. I've heard some remix tracks that he's done. Seems to me like he was showcasing his technical abilities, different flows he can do, very deep metaphors and wordplay, and he brings a little bit of a humorous element. So based on the title, this is probably going to be very different from anything else I've heard from him. It's going to be more about driving a message home, but maybe he'll throw some of those technical abilities I've seen in there. But I'm not really going to guess what the track's about because I think the title says it all. I just kind of want to hop in and see what they're doing, so let's start it up. I like opening with a quote.
Hey, Daryl. You good, bro? You ain't picking up calls, dog. What's wrong, man? Daryl, you good? Hey.
I like that the video itself is starting off with a narrative. Seems to have a story, which I wasn't expecting. That added element takes a lot more thought when coming up with a video, so that's really cool right off the bat.
Hey, Daryl. Don't lose yourself.
Nice visual. I see a lot of people lose themselves to propaganda. I'm sure plenty of you have with this virus going on. It's weird because we all tend to disagree only at our extremes, and propaganda seems to bring out the most extreme things within us. Mostly our extreme emotions, which shuts down most conversation. Who wants to talk to someone screaming in their face? But I already like the visuals. I mean, that's a cool like Donnie Darko effect going into his chest. And I like that Dax came to see this person, and it's like as soon as he walked in the door, it was just like, I gotta leave. Nobody wants to be around that kind of toxic person.
And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda.
So that's a very minimal hook, but I like it. The beat is easy to bop your head to. The melody is easy, but it sounds good. It also has a hint of sadness in it, and I think that really works well with what I'm guessing the song's gonna be about.
United we stand, divided we fall. New Year's Eve, they've been dropping the ball. Independent, how we dead in the game. We don't write to the sound of applause. Hidden truth, dotted lines, ain't never signed, stood and remain the boss. In a world that is full of facades, where if you speak, you get nailed to a cross. I won't be silent, I am unspoken. I am the product of pain, so when you see my name, no fame could never break down a brain that is already broken. Every wound is a paid devotion. They fill words as I purge emotion. Scabs tear as I drop hits that bleed loud from demonic omens. The system decides.
Right out the gate, he has a very unique cadence. I don't think I hear anyone with a flow quite like that. A couple different lines stood out to me. I like the New Year's Eve they dropping the ball. Almost like year after year we're just snowballing mistakes. I'm assuming he's talking about our government officials, considering the line before that is united we stand, divided we fall, which has some patriotism thrown into it. Also, if you've listened to my music, you know that I'm very anti-music industry. So I really appreciate that he's like, I'm not going to sign to an industry because I'm not going to lose my voice. I'm not going to let you tell me what I can and cannot say. Because honestly, in the music industry today, a song like this probably wouldn't fly. The rich has us talking about what they want us to be talking about.
Words as I purge emotion, scabs tear as I drop hits that bleed loud from demonic omens. The system decides we spend, we buy, while most of our time is spent in bed. The dreams we have all stay inside. We sleep and wake and live with regret. The price of life is half the cost. The price of fame could cost your head. If infamy is what you seek and propaganda is what you spread. Propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda.
This video is really well done. I like how everyone's recording them with their phones. I like him trying to get away from the news. I wonder if that light is from a street lamp or if they had their own lights. It's actually pretty cool that this song is aimed more towards the industry. The system decides, we spend, we buy, while most of our time we spend in bed. In dreams we have, we'll stay inside. We sleep and wake, then live with regret. It's basically along the lines of what I was saying before, was that if you're not deciding for yourself, someone else will decide for you. So if you don't know what to talk about, and they're throwing shit out there for you to talk about, you're going to talk about it. And I like, the price of life is half the cost. The price of fame will cost your head. If infamy is what you seek and propaganda is what you spread. And that's a very true line, because there's a lot of times where situations in life present themselves, and the easiest thing to do is the wrong thing to do. Because doing the right thing usually means sticking up for yourself, sticking to your guns, and saying no. And when you're talking about the music industry, you're saying no to very powerful people. So I appreciate the message here. This is going to be kind of fun to listen to Tom talk about too. This is dope for sure.
And all I see is propaganda, propaganda.
Dated, indoctrinated. They convince us all that everything we say is racist, and blood will change it, that's what happens. Y'all need balance. Y'all need blacks and whites and lefts and rights to stop the madness. They planned it. It's Trump or Biden, we all been divided by it in the streets. Elections always been rigged. I ain't surprised when somebody cheats. All I see is Pentagon.
Ain't that the truth? There's a famous quote, and I forget who it's by, but it's basically, voters don't win elections, vote counters win elections. And in our government, there's such a lack of accountability that I would be surprised if no election was rigged. And this last election was crazy. Regardless of how you see things, it's pretty clear from where I'm standing that this virus was hijacked by politicians to push some sort of agenda. But this is Tom's bread and butter. And I love that he's constantly pointing out that our system is broken and everything is there to divide us in one way or another. If you had to take away the identifiers of Republican, Democrats, and argue on the merit of policy, we'd be having very different conversations. And when I say different, I mean much more useful conversations.
In the streets, elections always been rigged. I ain't surprised when somebody cheats. All I see is pentagrams of the propaganda, but our priority's a vaccine. It ain't hard for wolves to find a flock when the sheep are fast asleep. Too many people lack character. Too many journalists scaring you. Too many pencils attempting to rewrite the Constitution. They probably gonna tear it up. I love the country, but I don't trust the people taking care of us. We went to bed with the American dream. We woke up in Nightmerica.
And all I see is propaganda.
That's definitely a very quotable line, Nightmerica. I don't know if he took that from somewhere or came up with it on his own, but that's pretty cool. But too many people lack character. Too many journalists scaring you. Yeah, and I mean, people with no character, when they're scared, they'll sell anybody out. I mean, they have no character. They have no principles. There's nothing they won't do. And I like how he said too many pencils attempting to rewrite the Constitution. They probably gonna tear it up. The thing that comes immediately to mind is Nancy Pelosi tearing up that speech. I don't know if the point of that was to evoke that, but if it was, it worked.
And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda.
So that was Propaganda by Dax and Tom Macdonald. I would actually say that their verses are probably tied for me. They're both good at getting their points across and everything. They both had interesting flows, a good narrative. I felt like Dax's vocabulary was on display there. He obviously knows a lot of words and he knows how to play with them. But alright everyone, that's the video. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It helps the channel grow. I appreciate every single one of you, and I look forward to the next one. Peace.